Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome you all in today's session. This session is on discourse and pragmatics. So, we will try to define discourse and pragmatics and to differentiate between these two terms. As we know that pragmatics is one of the branches of semiotics or semiology. Semiotics is the systematic study of science, or semiotics is the science of science. Then there are three branches of semiotics. The first branch of semiotics is semantics, another is semantics, and then comes pragmatics. Like semantics. Semantics is the systematic study of science with relation to other science. Like one sign gives value to another sign, and through this way we are understanding this system of signs and we are taking meanings of the signs. Then semantics. In semantics we are studying signs with relation to what they denote, or we can say that semantics is the systematic study of signs with relation to what they denote, with relation to what they mean. Okay, then comes pragmatics. Pragmatics is the systematic study of signs with relation to the users, with relation to the sign users, with relation to the speakers, with relation to the listeners, with relation to the writers and the readers, like how readers are taking meanings of the signs, like how they are understanding signs, or when the speakers they are having intentions, and this intention is given to the listeners, are conveyed to the listeners, so how they are understanding the intention or the intended meanings of the speakers. So that's why one of the definitions of pragmatics is the intended meaning. The study of the intended meanings is called pragmatics. Or according to George Yule, pragmatics is the study of the speaker's meanings, or pragmatics is the study of invisible meanings. Pragmatics is the study of the language in context. Then there is one definition, very comprehensive definition by Levinson in 1983. Levinson defines pragmatics as the systematic study of meanings by virtue of or depend on the use of language. Like the study of meanings by virtue of the language use or the use of language, and the study of meanings that depends on the language use, so that is called pragmatics. Now what is the difference between discourse and pragmatics? Discourse is also the study of meanings, or discourse means anything. Discourse means talk, discourse means speech, discourse means language in action, we can say. Discourse means sermon. Discourse means like speeches. We are having dialogues, so that is basically discourse. Discourse is very broad. By definition, pragmatics comes under the umbrella of discourse. Like the core concepts we are discussing under the umbrella of pragmatics are speech acts theory. Speech acts we are studying in pragmatics, implicatures, types of implicatures, then presuppositions, types of presuppositions, deixis or deixis, and types of deixis we are studying. We are having different phases of pragmatics, like pragmatics interfaces. Pragmatics Semantics interface, pragmatics discourse interface, pragmatics cognitive interface, are the theory of relevancy. So these things are interrelated, but the main difference between pragmatics and discourse is discourse means anything, like discourse means talk, a sermon, but pragmatics means the effects of the context on language. The effects of the context on language. Like, for example, discourse analysts, they take into account a pragmatic approach to the study of language in use. When language in use in practical situations, in pragmatic situations, in real life situations, we can say in social context, then discourse analysts, they are applying pragmatic approach. So pragmatics is one of the approaches to the study of language in context or the study of language in communication. When language is used for the purpose of communication, when we are analyzing that language in practical situations, so then we are applying pragmatic analysis. We are having pragmatic analysis of that very language in context. So this is the difference. Discourse analyst is investigating the use of language in the relationship between the speaker and the utterance on the particular occasion of use. When language is used in particular context, so then there are some forces, some effects will be there of the context and the language use. Like how, what type of the variations occur in language, in meanings, due to the context. That is pragmatics. Pragmatics and discourse analysis involve the study of meaning and its context of use. Pragmatics focuses on the effects of context on meaning, and discourse analysis studies written in spoken language in relation to its social context. Like, the main difference is that pragmatics focuses on the effects of the context on meanings. When language is used in practical situations, in social situations, in pragmatic situations, so what will be the effects of the context and the meanings? That is pragmatics, or that is the pragmatic analysis of language. Discourse means anything. When discourse is going on, so then what will be the effects of the context on that discourse? So these effects will be the focus of pragmatics. Like, dear students, we are having discourse, but sometimes we are having discourse without pragmatic meanings. In each and every discourse, we are not having pragmatic meanings, or we are having not like pragmatics. But sometimes inside the discourse, there will be pragmatic meanings. So then we are applying a pragmatic approach to the use of meanings to understand and comprehend meanings. Like, we are having political discourse analysis, PDA, which is also one of the approaches to discourse from the perspective of politics. Like, language in politics, and the language in politics and the politics of language when we are studying in political linguistics. So PDA, political discourse analysis, one of the approaches. Likewise, we are having CDA, critical discourse analysis, which is also one approach to study discourse. Likewise, we are having pragmatic analysis. So these are some of the approaches to discourse. Discourse is broad term, and we are having different approaches to understand discourse. Political discourse analysis to understand political talks, political speeches, political jargons or dialogues, political interviews. that is the job of critical discourse analysis as well as political discourse analysis. Similarly, we are having pragmatic analysis of the discourse. But in each and every discourse, we are not having pragmatic meanings, but discourse will be there because discourse means anything. Sometimes discourse is like carrying the burden of pragmatic meanings. Discourse can be like having pragmatic meanings, then we are applying the very approach of pragmatics or pragmatic analysis to understand the hidden agenda of the language use in practical situations, to understand the philosophy of language in communication in practical situations. Thanks for watching. I hope that now we are having some insights in understanding pragmatics in discourse.